Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Monday Night Wellness Stories. I'm Sherry Danzig, and as always, it's my pleasure to welcome all of you that are here and all of you that are listening to the recording. And tonight, the focus is on our air. We at Nikken have an amazing product that does amazing things to clean the air in your home and kind of restore the air so that it's the really good air that you breathe in nature. I don't know, I love the beach. I know other people love the mountains, but when you're outside in nature and you feel like you can breathe easier, well, that's the kind of air that gets created with the air system that Nikken has. There's a lot of information. Get with the person that invited you. They can send you a link. There's a manual. There's information about, because it's not just about cleaning the air. And we're not tonight going to talk about the technology and explain all of that. I get so excited. I talk a little bit about it. Really, what we're here to do is to share stories about the impact that having this air can have on individuals and families. So there's so much that can be said about the air. And if you're listening to this in April, it's a good time to invest in better air in your home because there's a really great sale going on. So that's an extra bonus. It's also, this month is the kind of allergy clean air awareness month. So I'm going to kick it off with Paula. I know you've got a very impactful story. I can't wait to hear it. Please share.
Well, I do suffer from what you call the seasonal allergy problems, and I've got 3 air machines in my house, and I have one right next to my bed. Now, this is going back 6 years ago, okay? We were in bed sleeping, and it was midnight, and all of a sudden, the air machine beside my bed went into full blast mode, and I thought, what the heck, you know? And I got up, and we sleep with our doors closed. So I opened the door to my bedroom and I could hear the smoke detector in the basement. And I thought, oh my God. And I went to wake my husband up and I said, we have to get out of here. And we went down the stairs and I said, I'll grab the dog. I grabbed the dog and I said, I'll meet you outside. And he went downstairs to see what was happening. And my whole sewing room, the back wall was totally ablaze. And it was just about to hit the electrical panel. And when the lights went out, my husband struggled to get up the stairs and get out, but he did get out. And it was the air machine that woke me up. It wasn't the smoke detector that woke me up. And the fire marshal came and he had a look at it and he said that he had never seen such toxic smoke in his career. And he said, had we been in the house 90 seconds longer, we would have perished. So I really attribute the air machine to saving my life.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, it's such again, we're not here to explain the technology. Know that the sensor in this machine picks up on things and it will turn itself to a higher speed. So that's what you heard. Because usually it's
Yes,
very quiet.
it's
So if you're not
it's
familiar with it, you don't hear it. You don't even know
no,
it's going on.
it's usually
Still,
very quiet, but
right.
it sensed all the particulate in the air. And in our area, at the time the house was built, you only needed a smoke detector on the bedroom level. And the zoning has changed, or the zoning has
Mhm,
changed so that
mhm.
now you need it on every floor. But because the one in the basement detected the smoke because the fire was in the basement, had we waited until the upstairs one went off, it would have been too late.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't have been able to get out of the house. We're not going to think about that, but thank goodness. Now, Paula, did you have another story you wanted to share about?
Well, an associate of mine had an air machine and she loaned it to a customer. And this customer, in her master bedroom, she had the cat litter box. Why? I have no idea. But they put the air machine in there. And one night the cat went in and did his business, and the room really stunk. And within about 10 minutes, the room was clear, and the customer immediately bought an air system.
Because they had it all, they had borrowed it, so they realized.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's good when you have animals in your house and your guests come in and they don't know it. And that means you've got something helping to clean that air, because otherwise pets definitely leave their aromas around. So people say that to me all the time, because we've had at least one, if not two dogs. They say, your house does not smell like dogs. I'm like, that's because look at these air systems that are all over our house. So wonderful. Thank you. Shirley, you wanted to share a story.
Yes. My grandson is in the Air Force and he's stationed in California. And his mom lives in California. And when he comes home on the weekend, he noticed that he has asthma and he noticed he wasn't having any problems. And then he asked my daughter, he said, what something's going on, something's different. I haven't had any problem breathing or anything. And my daughter said it's because of that little machine. She was talking about the air purifier. So I talked to her. I told her that the air purifier is on sale because she has one upstairs and downstairs. So now she says she's gonna give him one so he can take it with him so he can have one where he lives. So the air purifier is great. I love it. I actually was having nosebleeds. And now that I have an air purifier I have one upstairs and downstairs. I have not had one nosebleed since I have the air purifier. So I love it.
That's awesome. 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 Okay.
Mhm.
Wynn, you were going to share a story as well.
Yes, I years ago I had a customer come in, didn't feel good. So I had her sit next to the air machine and I crank it on. Within 10 minutes, she feel better. And she said, what's that thing did? I said, well, you just breathe in good air. That's all you did. And I did a little strength test on her. She got a little stronger after she sit there for 10 minutes.
Yeah, air's kind of important. It's not a small thing if you can clean up the air, and not only clean up the air, but create this nature's perfect air. Your body likes it. It's pretty happy with it. So it will respond in those ways. That's awesome. Okay, Dee, you've got a story as well. And don't feel bad about, I mean, this maybe it's not life and death, and yet what I think you're going to share certainly makes a difference in the quality of air you breathe in your home, right?
Yes, for sure. And I love that the air is clean and I walk in from outdoors. I'm not smelling anything, like a cooking odor from earlier in the day or whatever. But I have hardwood floors all over my home and there is just less dust on the floors, on the furniture. And I love having more time to do interesting things and fun things and not worrying about dusting, right? I mean, it just makes it easier. And I've got one in my main area in my guest room next to my bed. I love it, love it. Thank you.
That's awesome. I will say too, and then we'll get to you, Paul, in just a second. So, because we have dogs in our house, and this air system, when you open it up, there is a pre-filter that you clean that stays with the air system. And when you have animals, and you look at because I clean it like once a month, probably should clean it more often, and you look at all the stuff it's capturing, you realize if you didn't have that, that would be in the air. It wouldn't be attracted, it wouldn't, our lungs would be the ones that are doing all the filtering. And my husband, who tends to be kind of the science skeptical person on lots of things, he insisted that we get an air system that would be near in the kitchen, because he actually brought this article to me. Usually I'm the one bringing articles to say, see, this is why we need these products. But he brought it to me that every time you turn on your gas stove, that's a toxic gas you're putting out. And so there's links to unhealthy things that we don't want. So you want to have an air system near the kitchen. So I don't turn it on all the time, because honestly, it's the little one that sits on the counter. But every time I turn on the stove, I turn on the air system. So it's cleaning all that, because it's a gas stove and it's putting stuff out. Okay, Polly, you had your hand raised, and then we'll go to Pam.
Yeah, I just remembered a story about I have popcorn ceilings in my house, and I wanted to have them painted because I don't mind the popcorn. But the thing is, because it's water soluble, you have to paint it with an oil paint. And the painter got 2 rooms done and he had to come back and do a 3rd room. And I complained about the smell and he says, oh, he says, unfortunately, that's the thing with oil paint. He says, you'll probably smell it for a week, 10 days, something like that. And I said, I bet you I won't. And after he left, I put all 3 air machines in that room and cranked them up on full blast. And he came in the next morning and there was no smell. And he was absolutely shocked.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, where there's smell is usually not a good thing.
Mm-mm.
Of course, sometimes there's no smell and it's not a good thing, right? We don't always recognize it. Pam.
Well, we live out in the country and people will come to the house and they'll say, oh, I just love this country fresh air, you know, when they come inside. And I said, well, you might think it's because we're in the country, but that's not it. I said, our Nikken air filters are absolutely wonderful. Well, the whole thing is the people around us farm and they spray the you know, fields and all of that with toxins. And when I see that they're out there, we have 5 different air cleaners. Our house is kind of choppy, so you know it's not one big open space. And I take all of them and put them by where the doors are, because I know that as that door opens, all that's going to be rushing in to close again. And I just stick them on all the doors and put them on turbo. And that's what I love about it. It's an air filter with a brain, so it detects what's in the air. And yes, we have 3 animals, and yes, I feel really good that it doesn't stink.
Yeah. Here's for not having a smelly house. Yay! All right, you guys, that's it. Those were great stories. Thanks so much, and have fun sharing all of
I
this.
couldn't find out where to put the raised hand.